Hi, I'd like to show you the easel that I built. It was originally designed by a fellow by the name of Ben Gosser. I got the plans off the internet, they're free, but after I built it I decided I would add some modular effects to it, such as the pallet, brush rack, places for paints and so on. I hang brushes on the sides, on either side. And I've got palette knives here, a variety of those, more brushes, an armrest, keeps my hand steady since occasionally I need that. All of these pieces could be moved up and down, as you see. They're just held in there with dowels. There's dowels in here on either end. This unit has 2 dowels in here to keep it on. It's braced underneath, but you can move the unit onto the other side if you wish. I pre-drill everything and use deck screws. In Canada we have Robertson head screws. They're really great for doing this kind of thing. In the States you may have to use Phillips head. I'm not sure that you can get Robertson there. Robertson is a Canadian product. As you can see, the ledge that holds the canvas can be moved up and down. These pins just stick into the holes. They're 1/2-inch holes, drilled with a Forstner bit, by the way. It gives you a flat bottom hole. Very clean hole as well. This is all made just from leftover materials. The sides are 2x4. They're really straight, which is fairly critical. You don't want something that's bowed or bent. The rest of it is just leftover plywood and scraps of wood. The bottom is hinged just with a bolt on either side, so that it can tilt back and forth. The frame folds up for storage. The bottom piece, what I do is pull the pins out of these hinges. They're just door hinges, and I pull the pins out, and the side braces fold in, the bottom folds up, and then I can lean it against the wall. It takes up less space that way. As you can see, I've cut slots in here, and I use wing nuts and carriage bolts. The carriage bolts have a little square piece under the head, and it slides up and down in this groove. And then here I have a spline that's glued into this piece here, but it slides freely up and down here, and the whole idea is to keep the whole thing rigid so it doesn't move from side to side. On the back here, this little block has a hole drilled in the other side, but it's a blind hole, and there's a nut that's squeezed in there, just tapped in with a hammer and then epoxied in place. And the trick is to keep the epoxy out of the threads, and I use just a wing nut or thumb screw if you like. And what this is the clamp that holds my canvases. The nails are just there to hold the canvas from moving in and out, and they just drop in. The holes are drilled just loose enough so the nails just drop in. That's pretty much it. You can put a good size painting on here, or if you like, just smaller ones. And as I say, this piece here is just a piece of leftover scrap. If I'm putting on a small painting, there's nothing otherwise to hold it from moving back and forth on the sides, so that keeps it rigid. And as you can see, this is how the painting sits, normally speaking, with a clamp on the top. That's pretty much it. A drill press is handy for drilling these holes. That way you can get the holes absolutely straight into the 2x4 rails, but you can do it with care with just a hand drill. All you basically need is a table saw of some sort with a good fence to build the rest of it, and that's pretty much it. That and a small 3/8 hand drill.